team today, and our team is, I'm the first speaker, Priyanka, and our second speaker is Ashley Wu, and our third speaker is for the region. Today, our team will prove to you that families shouldn't migrate to the best possible country for the future of their children. I'd like to begin by outlining what we are going to say. So, our main points are that the family doesn't need to move with the children, and that the place might be better for the child, but not necessarily better for the family. We also will point out that the future of the children cannot be guaranteed. Although they may be sent to a better place, they may not have the best options. It may not work out for them. The future isn't guaranteed. And our third main point would be that the children can learn independence by going alone. I'd like to begin with some rebuttals, as we agree with the definition, but we'd just like to clarify with one thing, that immigration is the action of coming to live permanently in a foreign country. I'd like to point out this is permanently. And the best possible country would simply be a country with the best options for the children, not necessarily the family. So to move on with my rebuttals, I'd like to say that the honourable opposition has pointed out that his future has improved. However, I'd like to point out that it may not work the same for all families. And although he's given many examples, the future isn't guaranteed. You don't know what can happen, and it's not necessary that all the children would have thrived in the other country. I'd also like to point out that you can still have a great education in the country that you are in too. For example, my dad is a very successful person. He's the vice president of Asia, and although a better option for him to study would have been in, for example, America, he studied in India, and he's still very successful. Therefore, you don't need to always go somewhere else to just have a better future. I'd like to move on to my own points now. My first point is that families do not need to move with their children to a place that is better for their children, because this place may not be better for the family, and therefore, the children can be sent there independently. This is why we have boarding schools, and the family doesn't need to move there themselves. The children can also learn from all these experiences. My second point is that the future of the children cannot be guaranteed. They may be sent to a place with the best options, which has the best future for them. However, it's not guaranteed. They may not be able to work there. Although it may be thought that this is a place with best options, it may not actually be the place with best options, as they may not like it there. And even if their family is there, it still won't work out. They need to be able to learn how to experience and how to be able to grow within themselves. They need to have independence. The third point is that the family doesn't need to immigrate with the child permanently. As I said before, immigration is the permanent moving to another foreign country. Therefore, for them to permanently move them, they need to have more than just one reason. Yes, you may say that they can sacrifice all their lives. However, they may do better by sending them to independently, and they may be able to support them better by being in a different country where they can earn and support them better because they have better options there and they have more options to work. So I'd like to conclude by saying that the future is that a family should definitely not immigrate to the best possible country for the future of the children. Thank you for listening.
Good work, good speaking, and good arguments. So I'm going to give you guys immediate feedback today, if that's okay, because that will hopefully help you relate to your current, what you did. So real quickly, like I said, you had a lot of great arguments, okay? And I like the structure. You started off obviously rebutting the arguments, but even giving an overview before you even went into that. The one thing, or there's a couple things that I would try to change if need be. It's not critical, but it's up to you. You don't have to introduce your entire team because they'll all introduce themselves throughout the entire debate. So there's no need to do that. So you might be, wasting time because you are able to fill the 4 minutes. You're good at that. And so use the 4 minutes to debate instead of introducing everybody. Just introduce yourself, identify you're first, and basically you represent the negative side. So very minor, but just a quick thing I noticed today. The second thing that I would argue that's kind of important is you had a structure in your head before you even actually started to speak. Meaning, before I even started to speak, you were going to define things and follow the same structure that you kind of planned on doing, from what I could tell. Because you ended up defining things. Frankly, I didn't define anything. And you had mentioned that basically you accept my definitions, but I didn't define anything. So it's like you're pointing out something that didn't even happen. So,
No,
want to say something?
what
Sorry.
I meant to say by I accepted your definition of it is that you kind of, although you didn't specifically define it, I kind of got the feeling that you did define it. Although you just say that, oh, I think blah, 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 blah.
Right.
So I felt like you did define it, therefore I was saying that I agree with your interpretation. I just wanted to point out one thing.
And the way you just explained it is exactly what you should have said up there. Is basically said, although the affirmative did not define this term, we accept his opinion of what blah, 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 or his interpretation. And just say it in that exact way, okay? Because the way you said I accept his definitions, well, it wasn't that apparent that I had definitions. And so the way you explained it is perfect, okay? So do that next time when you're speaking. So that was it was just kind of, it's like, where did the definition come from? So anyway, so that confuses potentially a judge who's really paying attention. Well, they may not be, so that might be fine, and you might be able to get away with it, so don't worry too much. The arguments were very strong for the most part. You elaborated almost in the perfect amount that I would argue that you should elaborate. Not too much, not too little. Here I didn't find too many things wrong with your arguments. And so I can't really say much. You seemed a little frazzled today compared to before, and I don't know if it's because you were more intense today or if it was because, oops, I forgot. Should I maybe stop?